Okay, in this video I am going to show you some of the tips and tricks that I've learned about the clothing reshaper that will help you get better results so that you have less work that you need to do. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is select your mesh clothing and make sure that it's at a scale of 1, 1, and 1. If it's at a scale of 100, 100, and 100, for whatever reason, say you exported it out and you've imported it into a new scene and it's coming in, either edit the DAE file so that it is, here I'll show you. This is the DAE file for this halter top. You're going to want to look for, I wonder if word wrap is on. Okay, this is a little bit messy to look for. Others are cleaner, but you want to look for, where is it? It's near the top. It's near here. There it is, right here. Duh, it's right here. Meter equals, what it most likely will say, 1, or 1.0000, something like that. If it's saying that it's at a scale of 100. So what you want to do is you want to change that, do a search for meter equals, and then change in the quote marks to 0.01. And then just go File, Save. Okay, and then re-import your mesh clothing in. So that's one way to do it, probably the fastest way. Or you can duplicate the mesh, unlock the selected. Sometimes you have to do unselected twice, at least on mine sometimes it does. Once it's unlocked, then you can do freeze transformation with it selected to get it to 1, 1, and 1. Then you can select all the bones in the skeleton, and then select the duplicate, do a quick smooth bind, and then copy weights from the original one to the selected one. And you can do all the smooth binding and copying. The smooth bind in this here is really nice in that you just have to have the mesh selected. You don't have to have any bones selected. You just click smooth bind. You don't. This panel does it a little bit quicker than the old way of going through here and going to smooth bind. And this picks all the correct settings for you automatically. This one. And then after you smooth bind it, then you select the original. Control select the duplicate in the outliner. It's easier because they're going to be just on top of each other. So you'd select the original. See, that was the original. Then you hold down the control key, select that one as a duplicate, and then you just click copy weights. It takes a little bit longer than the normal copy weights because it does a few more processes. It automatically does remove unused influences and all that when you copy the weights, and so that just saves you a step in the long run. So it takes a little bit longer, and it also does it with the best settings as possible. So this is awesome. Okay, so that's if you have that, but we don't have that problem. So okay, so here's another tip to get better your clothes to reshape better, is to, when you're setting up your bodies that you got from the dev kit, like in my previous video that I did showing you how to set up your dev kit bodies to be able to be ready to work with the MayaStar clothing reshaper, either right after you've saved the Maya file or right before you save the Maya file, select the body and export it out as an OBJ. And export it out without any materials or anything like that. You just need the shape. And that way you can do what I'm going to do next, which is to import that OBJ when we get to this spot and use it as a guide. So here's the body that I exported out. And so the gray one is the Slink Hourglass body. And I want to change the color of this top so it's a little easier to see. So I'm going to do that. Go to Attribute Editor, click on this right arrow till you get all the way to the right. There's Lambert 10, and I'm going to change it to just a pink color, and then go back to Channel Box. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the appearance sliders, or the also known as the shape sliders, and we're going to reshape the clothes because they're rigged to the MayaStar body. We're going to use this to reshape the clothes to more better fit the new shape. So we're going to, obviously we need to make her breasts bigger. Okay, we need to make her breasts bigger, and we need to probably make the breast buoyancy, bring that down a little, and we can make the breasts maybe a little bit bigger to get rid of that, as long as it's bigger. I mean, maybe not crazy bigger, but that's about, we'll go about right. You can experiment with just exactly how much bigger do you want. Obviously her belly's a little bit bigger, so we'll go down here to belly size and make her belly a little bit bigger. Again, you don't want to go like that so that you don't have any poke through, but you don't want, you can definitely help things if you just make it a little bit bigger, like that. And so we're definitely going to have some, probably we'll have to fix this area a little bit. But also, if you turn on X-ray, and we select the other body, we can see, oh, we could definitely make her love handles, bring in her waist a little bit, to make that a little bit, so it doesn't have to move so far, Okay. And we can turn off the X-ray. And like I say, if you get too much, you start to see more poke through, and you're like, oh, I don't want to do that much. So, you just do it till you don't see a lot, but it's smaller than it was before, so that will give you all much better deformation. And we can hide the MayaStar body. Now, you could either at this point just, if you're actually satisfied that and you don't mind fixing this little area, you could just duplicate this and fix this one little area and you'd be done. Or you can delete the body, and let's show the other body back, and we can now run, oh, okay. So if you're going to be using the shape sliders, or the appearance editor sliders, we call them shape sliders here, you need to then go into rigging and select the mesh top, and you want to click Save Bind Pose. Okay, that's very important. If you don't do that, it's not going to work. So now we've saved the bind pose, and now we can go to External Dev Kits, and you can start the clothing reshaper. Oh, and we don't have the top selected. Now what I find is that when I click that, the display here freezes and I can't select anything. Or I can select stuff, but it doesn't look like it's selected. There's something about the display, it like freezes. We don't know if it's a problem with Maya, that when certain functions start to play, it will freeze the display. Or if it's a bug in Maya, or if it's something that MayaStar is doing. But it's okay. You can just select the clothing here in the outliner, and then click Start Clothing Reshaper. And we're going to be doing it to another body, so we're not going to be reshaping the clothes to the curvy from here. We're going to be reshaping the clothes to another body. So we go Other. And then here's where you select the body that you had set up previously to work with the MayaStar Clothing Reshaper. And this is where I told you to put, if the bones have, the spine bones are in that body that you had set up, to put it in there so you can see, oh, spines, I forgot, spines. Hit cancel. Then all you have to do, you don't have to, I'm going to show you. If you hold down the shift key and you expand all that, there's no spine bones. You can fix that real easy. Just go MayaStar, DevKit Importer, DevKit Prepper, Step 2, and it will add the spine bones. So now we're ready to go. So now select the clothing again, Start Clothing Reshaper, Other, and double click on that, and now it's going to reshape the clothes. And it asks, are you reshaping it to a male or female? Now obviously we're reshaping it to a female. and boom, it's done reshaping. And you can see here we have less work to reshape than we did before. A little bit on the underside. We could have made the breasts maybe a little bit bigger. But overall it's been reshaped, and I'll show you how to reshape it. And the nice part too, and see, it got a little bit here, so we'll have to fix that. Like I said, you have to play with the how big to make the breasts, how much to make them sag, how big to make the belly, if you want to do, but definitely by doing the shape sliders or the appearance sliders beforehand, we got a much nicer, smoother result of the clothes. And to me, this looks like it's going to be less work than having to do this whole area. And you do end up with something that does actually follow the shape more of the body that you're trying to have it fit, than if we had just used the shape sliders to make it kind of fit and then just fix this big area in here. Okay, so one of the nice things about the clothing reshaper is that it automatically does the initial rigging for you. This is now rigged to this body's weights. So if we go and open up the panel again, and we go to the shape sliders, we can go to torso, go to the breast size. It's already rigged. You know, it's done the initial rigging for you. Okay, you know, it's basically been MayaStarized. This is all MayaStarized with all the things, and so we can go to bind pose to get it back to the bind pose. Okay, so it's already rigged. It's already done the initial rigging, which will save you a ton of time. But now we need to get rid of this poke through. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to do. You can go to rigging, and you can then select the halter top. We have the halter top selected, you can see here, and you click edit geoskin. I want to put like 0.5. Doesn't matter. This is just how far away from the body is this going to move. So it moved it to 0.5. And if you want it closer, you can move it closer. And then what you can do is, I'm going to close this, is now you can come in here and you can edit this. Like if we want to get that poke through, so we go to tool settings and we go to the move tool. I would turn on soft select, and I would also turn on symmetry. So you come here to symmetry, and we want on object Y. Okay, and now with symmetry turned on, you can make the brush, the area that it affects, bigger by holding down the B key and then hold down your middle mouse button and drag it to the right, and so you can change the area that it's going to influence. So you can get a bigger area. And I wonder if this would be easier to see using default materials. Not really. Okay, and then what you can do is you can either grab the red handle and just pull it forward a little bit. Maybe click there and pull it forward just a little bit. Okay, looks like we need a little more over here. Pull it forward just a little bit, and maybe under here, and pull that down just a little bit. Okay, now these black dots you're seeing here, that's just because we don't have black back face culling on. And Second Life has back face culling, so see, now you don't see it at all. Okay, and say about here, and you can lift that up just a little bit until you don't see any poke through. Okay, now there's no poke through, and you can even open up the shape sliders again. You can also, Optimo is a big fan of docking the panel right there. Oops, so that it's always open. Sorry. You can then go to the shape sliders and you can make her, her breasts bigger. And see if there was any poke through that you might want to fix there. This you might want to fix with weights versus just pulling it down. But you can. We can see what that looks like. This would be probably something I'd more likely fix with weights. But you have the option. See what I mean? You have the option if something's poking through and something's really big like that. And then you just use whatever tools you normally use to rig to. Whoops. Let's hide the skeleton. Skeleton has, bones have higher priority than everything else. And you could, and this is where I would turn off. If you're going to use the different weight, different methods for smoothing weights, however you normally rig, that's when you do your normal stuff. You know, turn off symmetry, and you know, you can smooth the weights. And we go to X-ray. Let's see, which one do I want to do? Okay, and could increase the selection. And then come to the MayaStar panel, rigging, and like hammer the weights. You know, whatever tools you normally use. You know, to get your weights done. And so I like Brave Rabbit, and if you look through my videos, I have a video of some tools for rigging and stuff that are free. And so I love Brave Rabbit. I would have used Brave Rabbit on this, and it would have come out even better than just hammering the weights. But you see what I mean. You just do your normal weights, and you have, you know, you do your normal weights for rigging, and it's, you know, you're done. You know, so it would only take me a couple more minutes to smooth that out. I wish I had Brave Rabbit on here. I could do it in 10 seconds. Smooth the weights in between there. Another tip that I could give you is, if you're worried about the inside poking out so much, what you could do is, after you go to bind pose, is duplicate the mesh and delete all the faces that are on the inside, and then copy the weights from the original. You know, selecting all of the bones and doing a quick smooth bind, and then copy the weights from the original one to the duplicate, and then adjust your weights on the duplicate that doesn't have inward facing faces, and do all your tweaking of the weights to that, and then go back to bind pose, and then copy the weights from the duplicate back to the original, which then will give you better weights on the inside, and it'll be easier, you know, but it wasn't really super necessary on this one, so that is a possibility. But yeah, I mean, it really didn't take that long, and this took a lot longer because I was talking as I was going through everything, But yeah, the shape sliders really do help you get the shape to fit the other body, so that you get something that is really nice and smooth and a lot less work. So anyway, and I think the only thing that's left to do on here is remove unused influences, maybe. Yep, there it goes, and it removed 76 bones out of it, so that you're not over the 110 bone limit. And this would be, if I had smoothed out the weights a little bit more, it'd be ready to upload to Second Life for this particular avatar. And so once you have all your files set up for the different bodies that you're making clothes for, this process hopefully will be a lot faster and a lot easier, because not only are you reshaping the clothes, it's doing the initial rigging for you. So then you just need to go in here and adjust the weights after and you can fix any poke through and stuff like you see here. That's why Optimo, I mean, a lot of these were Optimo's idea. The clothing reshaper was mine and Optimo's idea. And I knew how to do it all manually, and he automated the process. But this edit geoskin, this was his alone. I mean, he came up with this idea of editing. The reason you don't really want to do pulling and stuff on the original one is that it can create a bunch of garbage nodes, and it can cause errors and stuff, or sometimes you'll have vertices that just kind of shoot out in weird directions when you're trying to pull on them. With this one, doing it this way, as soon as you're done reshaping the clothes, you can just delete that, and this is nice and clean, no garbage nodes, and it's not going to cause you any problems. So yeah, so that's how you do it. Those are the tips and tricks, and I hope you find the tool very valuable and helps you get your clothes to fit other avatars quickly and easily with the least amount of work on your end as possible. And awesome. If you want to add this body to this layer, you can just simply select it, hold down the right mouse button, add selected object, and now you can have that. And so awesome. So I hope this new feature really helps out a lot of you out there to be able to make clothes for different bodies as quickly and painlessly as possible. And nothing's ever completely painless, but awesome. So we will see you in the next video.